Hello, it's Alara here from Alara Overall Coaching, and the lighting is going to be a little bit weird today, but I've always wanted to make a video from this spot because it's just such a nice view. So you're just going to have to bear with me, lighting might go weird. Okay, today we're going to be talking about 3 ways you might be pushing your audience away from you and how to stop it right now. So let me let you into a little bit of a secret. Nobody cares about the features and benefits of your product. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. You spent a lot of time developing this product and it has a potential to really have a massive impact on the world. And if you watch my last video, that's something that's super close to my heart, increasing our impact footprint, I call it. So, some symptoms that you might be experiencing, if this is something that you do, is you have conversations that kind of end up deviating off something. Or the conversations that you do have, you find that the people, your audience, whoever you're talking to, faces this kind of prejudgment about what you're doing and kind of distance themselves from you. They get bored. They understand intellectually what you do, but don't actually want to take action on it or think it's for someone else, not them, even though they're having the problem. If any of these sound kind of familiar to you, then you are doing one of these 3 things that are pushing away your audience. So number 1, you're boring them. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about this in a second. Number 2, you're confusing them. By the way, am I looking at the camera? Because I feel like I'm looking at myself, and people have always commented you should look at the camera, but it feels really weird to talk to a dot. So I'll just keep on talking to myself. Number 2, you're confusing them. And number 3, you're not making what you're saying relatable to them. So you're talking, they understand what you're on about, but you're just not making it relatable to them. Which all of these are actually symptoms of informing them, trying to inform them about what you do without actually inspiring them to take action. And here's why it's super important to inspire before you start informing people. The way that our human brains work is that we will take action based upon how we feel about things, not on what we understand. That's why love is super illogical, because we feel something and we just take action without it necessarily being the most logical understanding. That's why impulse buying is a thing. And if you take any action, it is because you have first felt good about the action and then found some logical reasons to back it up. Some people do take action purely upon logical reasons, but a lot of the time, after they've taken the action, they'll kind of have some second doubts. So it's super important to have a focus of inspiring your audience before you even talk about informing them about what you do. So how do we actually do that? I'm going to break it down into 3 simple steps for you. There are 3 elements that you need in order to inspire before informing people. The first element is creating belief. So this is the part where people start to kind of disown their business. Your business, it's easier to look at external reasons why your audience is being pushed away, but really it's because your business is an expanded version of who you are. Your business has a soul. It has some core values upon which it is based upon, because if it wasn't, it wouldn't exist. A business it's not anything without you personally putting energy into it. And energy that comes from you personally is your core values. So whether you are clear on what your core values are or not, you do have some, and your business is based upon some core values. And without you explaining what your core values are, what your vision is, what your why is for this company, for this business, for this movement, for this app, then you're going to be starting your story from the middle. You're going to be trying to explain to people what you do before even giving them a reason why they should be inspired and want to listen to what you do, and therefore eventually take action on it. So it's super important to anything you do to start with creating belief. So how do you actually create belief? So I told you what the elements are that you need to create belief. You need your why, you need your vision, and you need your core values. So anything you say, you can basically start it with, I believe in a world where, insert your vision. So therefore, everything I do or we do is around your driver, your core driver of why you do what you do. Okay, so I believe in a world where, insert your vision, so everything we do is around. So mine is, I believe in a world where each of us has a massive impact footprint. So everything I do is around inspiring and equipping people to take deep-seated action. Now note that this is nothing to do with my offer, my product, anything like that. This is purely about the soul of my company. So have a go and fill in that that statement for you. So this is, at this point, it's super important not to just kind of like make up buzzwords for your company. It really genuinely needs to reflect your personal core values, your personal vision for the future. So if you want to understand a little bit more, get a little bit more in-depth understanding about how to do this, I would really recommend you reading Simon Sinek's Find Your Why book. And he also has a YouTube video of, and I think it's called How Great Leaders Inspire Action. I would 100% recommend you to read that and watch that video. Okay, so number one, creating belief. Number two is around creating clarity and simplicity around what you do. We don't want to know about the features and benefits of your product before we have an understanding of what is it about? Like, why should I care about what you're doing? So there is I have created a guide that I think I've shared in another video, but I'm going to break it down into simple steps. How do you actually simply talk about what you do? How do you simply portray your message? And it's basically an elevator pitch. So it has three parts. In the first part of your elevator pitch, you want to explain what the problem is. Like, what is the problem that we're tackling? Most people in the world, most women in the world, most kids in the world experience XYZ problem, okay? Second part. So, at my company, we do your solution. What do you do? How do you solve that problem? In one sentence. So, at my company, we do... And the last bit is so that... And this is the result, the world that it allows these people to live. So I'm going to give you an example of one of my clients. So his elevator pitch is most people aren't able to easily access the medical support they need due to a massive inefficiency in the system. So we bring healthcare to where they are by digitalizing the majority of the healthcare system so anyone, anywhere can access the medical help they need. Okay, so have a go at doing your one-liner elevator pitch, okay? So the third element you need to inspire before you inform is to use story. Stories take people through an emotional journey. You can either tell someone the end of the story, but it comes across as forceful, or you can tell them the story and it takes them through an emotional journey where they get to the conclusion that you would be getting them to. So this is super important to share. In this context, it's super important to share your founding story because you have been through a series of events and a series of realizations that have led you to come to the point that you're at now. If you can guide people through that same emotional journey by effectively telling your story, you are on the win because you're not telling people why what you do is important. You're taking them through the emotional journey to realize themselves. So, and that is this. Your story should be the intro into how you talk about the benefits and the features of your product. Because once you take people through that emotional journey, they first got inspired because you shared what you believed in. Number one, and the second part, they clearly understand what you do. And number three, they've gone through the emotional journey through listening to your story to want to understand to understand the importance of what you do and want to now hear about the features and the benefits and the examples and So there's just this like inspiring part that you need to be doing before the informing part. Once you nail this, you are going to be attracting so many people to you, and not only attracting them, but actually inspiring them to take action. Because remember, action is something that comes from how we feel about things, not from what we think about things. Okay, so I hope this video has been super helpful for you. I will see you in my next video. Have an amazing day.